Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Welcome back to another video which is an extension of a family of videos that look into Heinnie's variants of very popular common knives. And today we are looking at the CRKT Pilar, but this is the Heinnie's UK legal version. So there's a few things that make this different. I do have a video on UK knife laws, which, you know, at the time I did mention a lot of UK knife laws, but mainly they were English knife laws. You find that in Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland they're slightly different, but they're all roughly the same, so I'll leave a link to that at the end. But that will give you some information on why this is a UK legal version and why Heinnie's are taking very popular knives, working with the manufacturers to bring those knives to a wider audience, both here in the UK and other parts of the world where certain types of knives it's difficult or illegal to carry those in public. So yeah, they're championing that. So what I'll do is, as usual, I'll turn the camera around. Whilst I'm doing that, if this is your first time to the channel, please hit that like button if you do like this content. If you're back again, then great, welcome back, that's awesome. I hope you've hit that subscribe button. Actually, I can see on my YouTube stuff, I've only got about 95% of the people that watch my content don't subscribe. If you'd like to subscribe, that'd be awful. I've been talking too much now. Let's turn the camera around, have a look at this awesome little knife. Okay, so as we usually do, we'll go through some of the details of the knife. As previously mentioned, this is the CRKT Pilar. And this is the UK friendly version. We'll go into some of those details as we go through it. So first one, measurements. The length of the blade, which comes from the end of the scales here to the tip, if you measure that in a straight line, is 6.4 centimeters or 2.5 inches. The blade thickness, and it's actually quite, you know, as the kids would say, it's a bit of a chode as far as thickness is concerned. It is all about the girth with this one. It's probably one of the thickest knives that I own. It comes in at 3.8 millimeters, so nearly 4 millimeters, which is 0.15 inches. The grind on the back here is actually quite sharp. If I just rub it against, you know, you can see it's taking off bits of my fingernail there, so it is quite sharp. Particularly good if you wanted to strike a what's-it rod on there to start a fire, although I wouldn't advise that on a slip joint, unless of course it was closed. So where was it? The cutting edge, which comes from the choil here to the tip, is 5.4 centimeters, and that's the most important part about this. This does make that UK legal. The most important part is the fact that it is a slip joint. On the main pillar from CRKT, on the backhand side, or whichever side it would be, I guess it would be on this side, there is a line lock, which makes it illegal here in the UK. So this is the slip joint version. Now back to some of the measurements. When it is closed, it measures 9 centimeters at the longest part, which is 3.5 inches, and when opened from the butt to the tip, oh, I've just got out of focus there for a second, is 14.9 centimeters or 5.9 inches. As far as the blade is concerned, hopefully you can see it's a Warncliffe style blade. The grind on the blade is a flat grind, completely flat, and then you've got the secondary bevel there. You can see it's got a bit of a bow on the belly there, which actually gives it a belly rather than it being a straight edge. The choil in here, rather than it just being a Spanish notch style choil, the choil is something that if you needed to, you can put your finger into there to be able to hold that blade open. The detent on it is quite strong. You know, you do have to push it quite a bit for it to snap open, to snap closed. But with it being a slip joint, you do have to be careful of that. But in the grand scheme of things, whenever you're cutting something, oh yeah, look, here's the box. Very standard CRKT box. When you're cutting something, you're generally pushing it away from you like that. It's very rare that you have to cut something that pushes it back. I generally find that I've never had any issues with slip joints and worried that I'm going to cut myself, but that's mainly because I've always grown up around slip joints. When you're used to these style knives, I know a lot of people worried that it's going to come back and it's going to cut them, but when you're used to the safety of a slip joint, I find a lot more people are used to the safety of all different styles of knives, mainly because you're just more conscious of the fact that there's a chance it might come back and cut you. So, hey, there's my 2 pence. Was there anything else I need to mention? Oh yeah, so you've got your belly there, which is 5.4 centimeters. You've got your choil here, and a nice big thumb opening here. So it is a one-hand open. You can open it one-handedly. I've been looking on. I've not got my flick just right yet. I can't really get it up there. I think I need to give this a little bit more lubrication to get that flick, but you can do a one finger Spidey style flick to get it open. The scales are made from G10. There's G10 on both sides. If you look at the standard Pilar, I think there is a titanium and there is a copper version, but that copper or titanium is just on the one side, mainly because the other side here has the locking system on it. Whereas with this version, it's G10 on both sides, and the spacer here is G10 as well. The liners are metal as well, and it uses, it's on the back here. Oh, it's not on the back there. I thought I'd written that down. It is this steel. I swear I'd written that down. Oh well. And it uses that steel all the way through it, which is, you know, it's an okay steel. It's not the best, but as far as steels go, you know, it keeps it nice and sharp. It is a stainless steel, so you don't have to worry too much about the upkeep of it. However, I'd always advise just to use some oil on that as well. So to go around it, hopefully you can see here we have 3 bolts, or 3 bits to keep it together. So you have one here which also functions as the pivot, and then you have 2 here at the back which go through into this. On the inside, you might not be able to see this, but on the inside there is your detents. You have one on both sides, and also drilled into the detent is a bit of a spacer in there, or a little bit of a hole to make sure that they can reduce the weight. It opens out. There is a good positive click, as you can see there from the detent, and as it closes as well, you get the same to make sure that it doesn't swing open. It's fairly standard across all knives. There's a small lanyard hole on the end here. And it's other little bits of detail that I keep finding on this that I really like. It's the fact that, so where these 2 screws are here at the back, when they've gone round to bevel the edge here, you can see it just lifts it up over there as well, just to make sure that there's a good bit of clearance for that, so that you won't get much damage to there. As far as the clip is concerned, it is a tip down clip. So whether that floats your boat or whether that really kind of riles you, you know, it is removable. So if you want to take that off, but unfortunately you can't swap it from either sides, and you also can't take it from here to move it to this end as well. Weight wise, because it's G10, it is particularly light. It comes in at 80 grams, which is 2.8 ounces apparently, as far as Google tells me. A couple of things as far as, you know, just to point out, you know, you get a little CRKT information there, you get some on the back there, and there's a little bit on the clip as well. As far as cutting is concerned, out of the box, it does come reasonably sharp. I've done a bit of a cutting test. Now, my paper cutting skills are not the best, so I don't know what it is, but I'm just not particularly good at cutting paper. But it cuts paper, it slices through it as well as you'd expect. When it comes to cardboard, again, my cardboard skills aren't the best. The thickness of the blade itself does make a bit of a difference for that. I found that it doesn't slice through as easily because it starts to create a wedge as you're going through. You can't push slice through it. I've found that it's not sharp enough, or I do get some catches trying to push slice. Whereas when you slice and you use the full belly to cut through something, it does make it a lot easier. For EDC use, it works perfectly. It is exactly as you'd expect from a small EDC knife. Now, I did mention that this is part of a family, so this is the Heinnie version. We also have another Heinnie version here. So this is the Liangma number 5. This was actually one of the first knives and first knife reviews that I ever did. So as you can see, it's quite a bit shorter. This is a lot longer blade. But is again very similar. We also have 2 other knives that I've recently reviewed. There's the Boca Tech Tool number 1, which again is quite a bit longer, but then it really does have a shorter blade on there. Love this knife. And then we've also got the Real Steel Luna, which again is quite a bit longer, but again, it just has a longer knife. Every time I pick this knife up, it really does just surprise me at just how light it is. Absolutely amazing knife. To compare it to some regular carries that I generally tend to have on me at any given stage, here we've got a Victorinox. You can see lengthwise, the footprint on there is pretty much the same. As far as the width is concerned, if you were to take off the clip on there, again, it's pretty much the same. Whereas if you look at the footprint from above, as far as the width, it is quite a bit bigger. Also, a UK legal knife again that I do carry an awful lot of. Here is the Sword Peasant Mini. Again, it's roughly the same, but the Peasant Mini is a lot longer because it's just a longer knife, and you have that extended tang here as well. So Heinnie are doing a stellar job with these knife conversions. As I mentioned before, they're taking very popular worldwide knives, mainly from the US, but there are from other areas, and turning them into knives that make it specific so that it is a lot easier for them to be carried, or at least specifically fall within the realms of English law and, as I've mentioned before, very close to Scottish, Welsh and Northern Irish law. They're pretty much the same. There's just some subtle differences, but a lot of it comes down to that blade length and whether or not it is a locking or a slip joint like this. And I think they're doing a great job, and I take my hat off to Heinnie for doing this. They're definitely doing a great job for that. So there you go. As always, there's links in the description below if you want to pick up one of these. They're not in any way sort of affiliate links, although Heinnie, hit me up if you want to start doing some affiliate links, that'd be awesome. But have a look in the links below, and there's some other links to some of the things I've already mentioned in part of this as well. Some of you might have already noticed as well, the Yomp Notes t-shirt. I just happened to put this on this morning, and I thought, let's give this guy a shout out, because the content that he creates is absolutely amazing. He's got a blog that he goes into a lot of gear that he carries. He is the backpack king, honestly. I mean, I like my backpacks, but this guy takes it to the next level. If you want to look out information on how to configure your gear and all of that sort of stuff, definitely check out Yomp Notes. I'll put some links in the description below. With those links in the description below, you'll also see some of my links in there as well. Check me out on Instagram at Moorlander_EDC. You'll be able to find all of the stuff that I'm testing on there, and as it comes in, I like to show it off as we all do. But you'll get a glimpse of what will be in future videos. Helps to build a community as well. Talking about community, please subscribe, that'd be awesome. Like, share as you normally do, and for now, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC.